Hey, welcome back to Clocked Out Podcast. We're your hosts, Stick, Dave, and Mole. Welcome back to episode 15 of Clocked Out Podcast. We have a fun guest today. We're just going to jump right into it. Get into it. Drew, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
How do you know the Clocked Out crew?
I'm excited to be here. You
Are
guys
you?
have done a phenomenal job. Yeah, but I have actually something I need to mention here. I listened to the last episode, Jordan, and I'm in touch with my feminine side, you said. And I heard that, and I looked at my wife, and I was like, oh boy. We're
did
going to
in
have
fact
to
say
hash
that.
this out over the podcast here because I'm concerned of what she means by that.
Well, I feel like the
Well-
only way to prove that is to go through and ask you things that only
that's-
girls would know.
Oh, that
Yeah,
game.
That's a good way. But you have to be honest. You can't fib.
Yeah, you can't play like you don't know something when you know it.
Yeah, your wife will expose you.
She would,
Yeah.
100%. She would. I'm down to play it. I'm curious myself, in all honesty, but I'm an
I think
observer,
you're
so
gonna
I
get a lot of
I
them.
might impress myself. Who knows?
Yeah.
Which is probably
You
not a
observe
good
a
thing.
lot.
But
Well, get
So
into
do you
it. How do
guys-
you know the Clocked Out crew? How do you know us?
the Stick, of course. My best friend's wife. Unbelievable. I was actually so pumped that you guys started this podcast. And I listen to this podcast usually when I work out in the mornings. Just kind of gets me in like the just kind of coast and vibe, which is weird, right? Because who listens to a podcast when you're working out, especially something that's just
Bunch of three
off
women.
the rails sometimes. But it's crazy because what's fun about it is you can determine people's personalities based off of what you listen to from them for many episodes down the road, and it's cool to see all these personalities kind of come together. I know Jordan obviously very well, and Avery and McCall. We've only met once or twice at Jordan's wedding and whatnot, and it's kind of funny how it feels like we've known each other for so long just by listening to you guys pretty often. So it's cool to sit back and kind of watch you guys kind of take this off on your own. So
Yeah, hopefully this is the
thanks.
episode that takes us to the clouds.
yeah, who knows, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
take us to the top.
Wheels up, baby.
It's only wheels up from here.
You got it.
Whose brilliant idea was this, by the way?
To get you on the pod?
No, not me. It's just the
Oh, I was like,
podcast
was
in
your
general.
Well, we were sitting
was
at my
Nick and
brother's
I.
house. We were sitting at my brother's, me and Avery were. And Avery told me, we started talking about like things that we wanted to do. And Avery was like, oh, Stick and I have always wanted to start a podcast. And I was like, me too. And then that night I was like, we're starting one tonight. Like I was like, I
Yeah.
started texting Stick and Avery and I was like, we're starting it like tomorrow. And we ordered microphones, I think, like that next day.
Yeah, we did.
Can I ask
But
how much
Avery-
alcohol was involved?
Avery had none, but for me, probably a few beers.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, Stick and I are, we like to talk a lot of shit, but we drag our feet on stuff. We were never going to do this.
Never. Just us two. It's a fucking
No.
So you
Oh.
just need one person to really get it up and going, and then you guys are like, all right,
Yeah,
I can get
that
down
was
with
this.
McCall. That was
Yeah.
McCall.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's our
I
little
think that
go-getter.
night I created our logo. Some stupid, simple. Hopefully we get some photos done in the future and we can change it up. But yeah, that night I created our logo and then did some research on how to do it. And
big fan of the
That next
lights on
week
the
we had an
logo
episode.
too.
thanks.
Yeah, you like
Yeah.
that little
Holiday
touch?
lights, yeah, heck yeah.
Love
Yeah.
it. Mole's idea once again.
We don't. Stick and I don't touch anything outside of literally coming on here and talking.
I mean, I do
Yeah.
the
Paul
social
edits it.
media.
You said what?
I said I do the social media.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
Avery.
don't touch anything outside of this.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
I just show up.
Yeah. See, we're on the same page.
That's right. We got the good end of the deal here.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No, literally, that is the good end of the deal.
that is too
No.
funny. Avery, how about your house situation? I know you were going through it for a little bit there. Any updates?
Yeah, I'm stressed. Yeah. So they accepted our offer, the house that we wanted. So that's cool and stuff, but then once they accept your offer on a contingency, now like we're like scrambling to sell our house in the middle of winter, 1 week before Christmas, while I'm 7.5 months pregnant.
Sounds like great timing.
I mean, is it? No, absolutely not. But it's like It's been good. The one thing that I didn't think about, which this sounds stupid because if you sell a house you have to have showings, but
Oh,
you have to pack up your kid and your dogs and leave every time someone wants to walk
You're
through your
on
house.
call 24/7 essentially, it feels like. Especially
Yes.
with a kid,
Yeah.
you got a dog, and then the husband, of course, you gotta always be ready. And it's not easy, as I have just now learned with a 3-month-old. It's not easy to keep a house clean 24/7.
Yes. See, yeah. And when they start moving on their own, it's not just like you not wanting to throw stuff away. You know what I mean? Like, or pick stuff up.
Yep.
She, as soon as she sees me put something away, she's like, "Hell no, I want to play with that." And I'm like, "You haven't even looked at it in 3 months. Why you don't like this toy?" So it's a little bit of a disaster, but it's it's fine. It'll be
Have
fine.
you
My
noticed,
parents
did
would
any of
figure
your
it out
kids
for
at an
me.
early on age, so what, 0 to 3, I guess, Ari, my daughter's 3 months old, she could care less about toys at the moment. She cares about fans or
Yes.
like
Collins
blinky
loved
lights or
fans.
anything like that. It's
Yes.
eventually, I feel like we're gonna get her something really nice, and she's just gonna play with the box and not the toy itself.
She will. That will happen. And we do not buy a lot of clothing or I mean clothing. I buy a lot of clothing. We don't buy a lot of toys or like expensive things. First of all, I hate clutter. Our house is not that big and she doesn't even care about half the stuff we get her. She
Yeah.
literally will look at it, play with it once or twice and then it goes in the toy bin to the bottom and even if I take it out and try to entice her with it, she doesn't give a shit. So,
Abe, don't you remember when she was a baby though? Like she has that ceiling. So in her nursery, she has a ceiling fan like right above her changing table, and you guys had that like dragon, no,
oh, it was
dinosaur
a dinosaur.
balloon. She
Uh-huh.
loved that, and her bear boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's a good point. So if you're like Collins would get so focused in on the fan, but we taped like a shiny like dinosaur shaped balloon on it on one of the blades, and she just watch it go around and around and around.
There's so many
I mean,
creative ways of keeping a baby distracted now. Like
yeah,
my Facebook reels are flooded with just baby things, which is insane. Like
yeah,
there's one for tummy time. You got your baby sitting there, and you got like a container of baby toys in water, and just letting it do its
yeah,
thing. And they're just like, oh my gosh, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, there's so many creative ways out there to entertain a baby, but as I am just
yes.
learning, so it's kind of crazy.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the whole how did it go, transitioning into fatherhood? Like when you found out that Becca was pregnant all the way up into like the birthing experience. Like how
So
was
we
that time?
actually we found out the day after Christmas last year. And
Ooh.
Oh wow.
yeah, we
Merry
found out.
Christmas.
I know, right? So we traveled home from visiting family and everyone with the holidays, and we came home and took some tests, and they were positive, and we're like, oh, here we go, buckle up.
Uh-huh.
Right. So that was kind of like, okay, well, let's let Jesus take a wheel type of thing. Let's see how this goes. And, fast forward to the day of her birth, there's nothing in this world that explains the whole situation. Like, even the first 2 weeks, I was kind of shocked at the whole time. I was like,
Yeah.
this is a baby that we have created. This is insane. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still in shock. I haven't actually taken it all in yet. It took
Hmm.
about a month or so for it to really settle in because we had a lot of help. We had a lot of family that came down too, to help
Yeah.
out. So it was one of those situations where it's like, gosh, I just can't believe that this is our kid. Um,
Mhm.
and there's, I just get kind of all, what do you want to call it? Just shocked at all of the, what do you want to call it? Well, I'm losing the word here. I have the baby crying in the background here right now. I'm
Right.
sitting here like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, do I need to go run and take care of her or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but there's just so much to it that I just don't know, and I would not be able to do any of this without my wife personally.
Yeah.
Um, she is just unbelievable, and she is the hero in our household for everything that is done, and the
Yeah.
amount of respect that goes um, to any mom out there, or any single mom, or a mom with obviously even a good husband too. There's so much to it that's not even funny. Becca went out with some girlfriends last week, and she left me home with the kid for 3 hours, and I almost tapped out. right? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing wrong here? It was nothing really on me, maybe it was, but I was feeding her, I was doing all the right things that I thought, but then at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and then when she got home, baby was smiling, ready to go, just happy as
Oh
could be,
yeah.
and it's like, oh, but she, we're blessed enough to where she can stay home full time. And to know that I was only home for 3 hours and I was like, oh man, this is tough. And
Yeah.
she's got all day. And
Yeah.
that's where reality kicks in a little bit, where I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
probably so easy to be like, if you had a hard day at work or something, coming home and being like, oh, like at least you were at home all day. And then that gave you like a taste of reality of what that actually is like.
yeah, no, it is. It is. And the first thing I try doing every time I come home is to at least take her off her hands a little bit, give her some breathing room. Right.
That's nice.
Because
That's important.
yeah, it
That
is.
will.
It is, but
Yeah.
there's a different respect out there for all the women out there taking care of kids themselves, or even as a family. It's a very very difficult job, and
Yeah.
we're just starting to realize that. And Avery, you're about to have two, so
Yes.
buckle up, bud.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
got one
Strap
down,
in.
you understand it a little bit, right? But
Yeah. It's like that fear of now having, like, will my 2-year-old transition well? Now I'm worried about, like, I feel like the newborn, I'm more like, okay, I kind of have a handle on that to a certain extent. Collins was a super easy newborn. So I'm like, what if I get a colicky newborn? You just never know.
that was I was terrified of that, because I hear so
Yeah.
many bad stories about that too.
Yeah.
Or they just don't
So,
stop crying. It's like, okay, how do you can't. You just got to let them
yeah.
ride it
Like
out.
they have tummy issues, or like, again, I've had friends who have kids that were colicky or had like a milk allergy, and so they were just really like uncomfortable. So yeah, they're gonna cry all the time, and I hope that that does not happen. But aside from that, now, like, Collins, like, I'm worried about her transition. I think she'll be okay, but she's just so attached to us. Obviously, we only give her attention 24/7, but even if I like hold my nephew who's a year younger than her, so he's 1, or CJ holds my nephew, she freaks out. I mean, we just let her. But
Yeah.
cuz she's got to get used to it. But
Yeah.
even if I held my brother-in-law's dog, and she didn't like that. Like, if I'm giving love to something else, and I'm like, "Oh, this
You
isn't gonna
better
be."
start working on that, sister friend.
Well,
You only got a
I
couple months
do.
left.
If
I
she
know.
tries to get you to hold her, be like, no, no, bitch, I'm not holding you right now.
That's exactly what I said to her, and she didn't listen.
Yeah.
It was
Whoa.
weird. No.
She's a gangster.
She I don't pick her up right away. Now, CJ can't hear this, but he is the weak one.
Is he gonna
So
listen to the pod?
No.
I'm about to
maybe.
tell
I
him.
don't know.
I'm about to tell him.
Yeah, he like, she has him wrapped around his finger, or her finger. Like, she will be like, sit down, telling him to sit down, and the bitch sits down. I'm like, dang. I'm like, you are doing this to yourself. Like, I
He's
don't feel
whipped.
Look, I'm going to be honest
Who-
with you. I guarantee you, I'm the same way.
Oh,
I'm
we
you
can
I'm the
100% do
warrior.
that.
I'm 1,000% the
100%.
warrior already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becca's relaxed.
Oh yeah, 100%, which is unbelievable because I'm like, where the hell did you get this from? Because I am
Yeah.
so far left of that. Right, I'm
Yeah.
so far gone from that. Because I sit there and I worry about it. For the first 2 weeks. I hear a little bit of movement and I'll be like, what the hell's that? You good? Are you
Yeah.
breathing?
Mhm.
Just those little things. It's just like, oh my gosh. And mine didn't come
Scary.
with instructions, which is berserk because I thought they did.
Whoa.
So
Yeah,
I'm
so
Usually
surprised.
they
Did you
do,
get
yeah.
it from like
no
IKEA or
instruction
something?
manual, nothing. I was like, oh my gosh. And on the receipt says no returns on it. Okay.
Ah,
She
We're
screw
just
lost.
you.
has
We're
it
stuck.
and they send you home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I do.
Unbelievable.
It's scary. I will say I'm not chill
No, Avery has no chill.
to any extent.
No.
So maybe that's why, that's important. Now, Drew has a chill spouse, like him and Becca balance each other out, and CJ and I, it's the same way. Like, he's very chill.
Yeah.
I'm
Avery, I
very
was gonna
not.
say you've never been chill.
No, no,
Like
no.
Know about
you're
anything
a
in your whole life.
hypochondriac,
Right.
nervous Nelly,
If you
Right.
stub your toe, you're
everything.
gonna think you got to chop it off. I guarantee it.
Yeah, she'll text me
Yeah.
like, "Stick,
Uh-huh.
can you look at this bruise on my toe and ask, like, do I have to go to the emergency room?"
No, Avery will be like, I have a bruise on my thigh. Do I have cancer?
No,
Right.
And it's like,
literally.
no, you probably just hit your leg.
No. Okay. All right. When she was a newborn, I was so scared she was gonna die. I had definitely postpartum anxiety or some shit.
Yeah, that's a real thing though.
Yeah. And I thought, like, I couldn't sleep at night, you guys. I never slept because I thought she wasn't going to be breathing. So I looked up this one thing that you could touch the top of an infant's head, and as long as you can feel, like, you can feel their pulse through like their soft spot.
Soft spot.
So then I would just keep my hand on her head, like
Yeah,
almost
but you
all
weren't
night.
nervous about like pushing on her soft spot?
No, it was such a light
It is the
touch, and I just
weirdest thing. The
feel it.
human body is incredible. It truly is.
Yeah,
'Cause it
It's
was,
wild.
it's the weirdest thing to sit there and
yeah,
just slowly like pat their head, and it's just so squishy. It's weird.
yeah.
Ugh.
It's
They don't
weird.
have
Gross.
knees either. They ain't got no kneecaps.
No,
Till they're two.
Collins does now.
Looks
Yeah.
like I ain't got no kneecaps, but
Yeah, I'm still working on developing them.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Or do they just rub them out or what?
I'm kidding.
It's just
So
disgusting.
gross.
Nasty.
Oh, that's
God.
hilarious. Unreal. Unreal.
Drew, you guys live out of state, like away from your family. So how is that? Like, because I will just say, for me personally, like I rely heavily on my parents and CJ's parents too.
Yeah.
And me.
No, it's definitely been a little bit of a challenge, but thankfully, also thank you guys for the flight vouchers on the private jet, the 2 week
Oh,
stay in
of course.
hotel, and the
Yes.
best part ever is $500 per day per diem.
Yeah.
That's
The
crazy.
podcast is doing
Yeah,
well.
you guys are doing so great.
Yeah.
On my way here, I put the first $500 the per diem on red at Hard Rock.
Oh, wow.
Lost it, but that's all right. We're here.
You get 500 more
It's all right.
tomorrow.
Yeah. But I digress. But it is a challenge at times, right? But
Yeah.
thankfully, we've got amazing parents that come down when we need their help. And the first, what was it, month of our of Ari being here, I think we had 4 weeks straight of help. So Becca's parents came down, my mom came down, and then we went home for 2 weeks. Right. So I think the first 5 to 6 weeks were relatively easy, and we hadn't settled in ourselves taking care of her, of just us two,
Yeah.
because we had so much help. And then when we came back home after the 2 weeks, we kind of hit reality a little bit. We're like, oh, shit. Holy smokes. All right, let's sit down here.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how we can make this work. How can I help you? How can you help me type of situation? And I think we got on a solid routine now. But it makes coming home much more enjoyable, especially with Ari here. I've been telling Becca and my family that Christmas this year is just on a whole nother level because everything's going to her. She's the first grandbaby in both sides. So she is just
Oh.
getting spoiled to the
Wow.
T with
So she
things.
started the family.
She sure
Yeah.
did. I know.
She's a multi.
So, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a little bit of a challenge, but we've made it work. Becca's family is extremely well at helping out when they need to, when they come down, or obviously, being in sales, I can take time away too and come home a little bit too if needed. So we try to find ways to make it work, but I eventually would love to have as much help as we can, aka having family, because I can imagine how grateful or how simple things can be, or simpler than being
Yeah.
long distance. So
Yeah. Do you guys have like a group of like close knit friends that you trust and stuff? Like if
yeah.
you guys wanted to go on a date night, you would have someone to like watch her, right?
Yeah, we do. We have a couple of friends down there that we trust a lot. Actually, Beck and I, we did a little test to see what our future potentially could look like, and we babysat a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old on top of
Oh,
Ari.
yeah. How did that go?
Holy! It was actually a blast. It was actually a blast. These two kids are incredible. It was
Aw.
fun. It was really fun. We may have gotten them on a
Yeah.
good day. Who knows? But it was good. I bond with the 1-year-old quite a bit because I've been in his life since he's been born. So he
Aw.
knows me pretty well and Becca pretty well. So it
Mhm.
was good, but it was a good test to see what our potential future would look like. And I sent that video. Jordan, did I send you that video?
Yeah, you did.
And I sent that to my mom too. And my mom said, that's what your future is going to look like in 3 years. I'm like, oh gosh.
Whoa, 3 years.
Yeah, oh
3 years.
yeah.
Hanging
Three,
them
3
out,
years.
hanging
I was
them
like,
out.
holy
Wait a
shit here.
second. Wait,
Jeez,
mother.
back to back.
Yeah.
Do you guys, I mean, you don't have to share this if it's too personal and you guys haven't talked about it or whatever, but how do you guys want a certain amount of kids, or are you guys just kind of taking it like as they come, you'll see how many you want?
100% honest with you. We're letting Jesus take the wheel. We're just going with
Wow.
it, and yeah, I mean, obviously, TMI, we're
How's that
trying to
fair?
be relatively cautious, but if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Ari is a Christmas party baby, so you know,
Tis
it
the
just
season. We're back
happens. It
here.
happens.
Back to the Christmas season.
Yeah, I know. So you just never know. But I
Yes.
think our plan was 3 or 4 this whole time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's nice to start because I'm 30 years old. I'm throwing myself under the bus here. I'm getting old,
No,
right?
I feel that. It
And
hurts.
Becca's hot and young, so I got to keep up.
What's I want to know what's your guys' age difference, you and Becca?
Or what?
Your age difference.
I'm 30. She's 27, so it's not that big of a gap. But
Oh, that's not too
Oh,
no,
bad.
it's not that
That's
big
like
of a
yeah.
gap.
CJ and
Yeah,
I.
it's not like that weird 30 19 shit. Come on now, give me a
Well,
break.
that's Holly and Eric.
No offense to anybody out there, but just not my cup of tea.
No, for
But can you
sure.
like picture our lives at 27 though?
What do you
What do you
mean?
mean?
I'm
I was
28.
pregnant.
Well, you don't count, Mo. You
I
were
was
pregnant.
I was
I was still
pregnant.
getting drunk every weekend.
Yeah.
I was
like,
getting drunk last
Oh, I
weekend.
got I got a
was
funny story about that age thing, by the way. So on our
Uh-oh.
first date with Becca, so this was so she was a head coach at Orange Theory here, and
Oh, I know
I
this
went to
story.
I went to Orange Theory, and it was her first day of work, and I was like, oh, who's this hot blonde? I was like, what in the world here? And I ended up asking her out on a date, and I was like, man, she really carries herself well. Like, she's got to be at least 31, 32. And I was looking for a mature lady, who doesn't want to go out and just get slashed all weekend, right? And I'm like, okay, I think I got
sure.
myself straight here with someone solid. And went on the date, and she ended up asking me, so what do you think my age is? And I said, all right, time out here.
Oh.
I will answer this as truthfully as
This
I
is a
possibly can,
double-sided
but you
question.
cannot get mad at me for it. Like, you can't. And I'm an honest guy, so here we go. I thought she was 32, but she was 25.
You thought she was older than you?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
just
But do you
because.
think that because she presented
Yeah, she
herself that
presented
way?
herself
mature.
very well. Yeah, mature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
was always flooding to her, and I was like, "Yeah, this chick's got her life together." And I truly thought that being an Orange Theory head coach, that was her like side gig, because I thought she may have something else on the side too, but I didn't realize she actually ran the studio. So, yeah, it was kind of like one of those moments where I'm like, "Oh man, I can get myself in a lot of trouble here," but it ended up working out. But
What was her
Aw.
response? Was
she
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 like,
goes,
did she honor
"Oh,
the
okay." And I said, "Hold on, let me explain." And then we were good. So, and it was quite early on that date too, and that was on the first date. So don't take notes from Blue here.
No. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's
do you want to
Jesus.
do you want to get into why everyone calls you Blue?
I do not. I do
There's
not.
a few things that like pop into my head, but I'm like, is
Me
that just
too.
because
I'm like, because he
I'm
doesn't want to
thinking it's
say
fair?
it.
Yeah, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe on the next episode we can
Okay.
touch on that.
Yeah.
Well, a little teaser
Yeah.
there. How
I
about it?
actually don't know the story. He said it earlier, and he's like, "I'm not talking about it." And I was like, "I actually don't know the story."
We next episode we'll do a clocked out like after dark.
That
Yeah,
okay?
we'll expose
That
him.
will that's more like it right there. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can make
Yeah,
that
we'll
work.
Okay.
Oh,
expose you.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
perfectly
There
fine.
it
Perfectly fine.
Love it.
I know this is actually off a completely different direction, but I was listening to one of the episodes. McCall, I think you were gone, or maybe it was Avery, but you guys were talking about what's one of the best moments you guys remember in your early 20s.
Oh, Avery was gone.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
me
it
and
was
Yeah,
me.
Yeah,
Sid.
it was just me
yeah,
and McCall.
Avery had that
Yeah.
stomach problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't mean to bring that up, but
Yeah, treating it
you
so-
know, both ends situation here, folks. But I sat there and I was like, that's actually a phenomenal question, because everyone's a degenerate at their early 20s. And I'm like, man, what's
100%.
something that
Yeah.
really like sticks,
Yeah.
And
Do you have
I
something?
did actually. It took me like
Like
a
an
couple days
STD,
after
I
listening
guess.
to it. I was like, man, what was it? And college was fun and all, but honestly, it was being back home and going to the trap house. Jordan, the
Ugh.
trap house was
Oh,
incredible.
no.
What was the trap
Early
house?
Oh,
early
no.
memories of the trap house. That is by far
Oh, no.
the
Was
top.
that Dylan and
It
It
who
was
was
lived there?
it
it was
was
before my
Dylan. Yeah, it was
existence in
before
Dylan's
Jordan.
life.
So it was like Dylan. It was a house of Dylan, Austin, Jordan George, and then you got Tom, right? I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
There may have been
Tom.
one other one, but it was a group of us close buddies, and they were all in one house. And after work on Fridays, I would just hightail it to the trap house, and it was a literal trap house. It was like your college frat house kind of
Yuck.
dirtiness.
It was
Like
like
just
the way
like,
we
oh,
acted, Avery, when we lived at the 838, but the house didn't match. Like, the
Right,
house
like
actually matched their actions. Our
they
house
Like it
drove
was
didn't.
oh
like
yeah, like
like it was like a
busted
frat
down
party
doors,
house.
like
Yeah.
pizza from 3 years ago in the fridge. Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know?
well,
That's
it's
how you
because it was
build
a
your
bunch
immune
of
system,
men.
folks, is going to the trap
True.
house. So,
True.
but that
Oh
was
my
by far a highlight, you know, going there from Friday night all the way to Saturday or Sunday night. Like, I'd stay there all weekend.
yeah.
It was a blast because we would wake up on Sundays for football and we would just order a bunch of wings and food and whatnot, and we would just have a ton of screwdrivers and be up till
Oh.
however late. But that was probably the highlight because there was a lot that went down there. A lot of hockey, a lot of beer pong, a lot of all the
Isn't
highlight
it fun
stuff.
though? Like you're never gonna get that back.
No, I
So
know, and that's why
you know,
I actually had more fun there at sometimes than I did at college, just because I'm with my
yeah,
my closest buddies, right? And I think we all have
yeah,
very good friendships. And it's very rare to have friendships that you've known from literally single digit ages and still have them. And
yeah,
I think we have a solid group that still keeps that on, and I think we're obviously going to keep that for as long as we can. But it's very rare to hear someone say, "Yeah, I'm still friends with my, friend from 5 or 6 years old." Right? So
yeah.
coming home and
And
having
it's
that extra.
But I wonder if it's a
yeah,
guy thing because my husband's the same way. Like he's leaving the house right now, so if you guys hear noise. But we moved back to his hometown and he's still friends with like all of the kids that he grew up with, but I don't think I have one friend other than like Stick and my sister.
no, you're
But
taking my friends. Those are my friends that I
yeah.
moved to you.
Yeah, you can't take Avery's
Yeah.
I wonder
friends.
if
No,
it's
no.
just
I'm
like a
borrowing
small
Stick and I'll
town
give her
thing. I
back.
mean, you guys are
But if
from
I
small towns too, though, right?
yeah.
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 But I don't,
I
I don't.
mean,
Men are just a lot easier going, I think.
yep,
When it comes to,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
okay, I pissed
I
him
feel
off.
like
All right, he'll come back. We'll hang out eventually over beers, type of thing. But
me and Avery are men though in that aspect.
yeah.
no comment.
I I've seen you and Avery get in like
Oh,
fist fights.
Yeah,
So
but then
yeah,
we're fine 3 seconds later.
yeah. We've been really mean to each other before.
yeah,
Mhm.
you guys are fine, and then you guys get fucked up and you like fight again, and then you guys are
Man,
fine.
them
Yeah.
Yeah,
CNCs, they'll get you.
yeah.
CNCs, baby.
Actually, since Stick's been sober and I've been pregnant, we've been getting along really well.
Yeah, we've really gotten along great actually. There's been no tizzies.
That's great.
That'll do it. That will do it.
Yeah,
It was the CNC, it turns out.
Because all
yeah.
I remember is my bachelorette party and you guys
Were
fighting.
we
but
fighting bad?
Oh, I don't
I
remember that.
I feel like it was like Stick and Morgan were on a team, and then Avery and Holly were on a team, and I was like,
Oh,
wait a minute,
Sometimes
I'm
you know what
that
me and
does
Morgan were
happen.
drinking?
CNC.
Captain
See,
Coke.
that's why. Fuck you guys.
We
Yeah,
drank a whole bottle.
yeah. Sometimes and I think too, it doesn't help that Holly and I were so like mommified now, like we're a little like lame. And then you guys were still partying real hard at that point,
Oh, that makes it
you
difficult.
know.
That makes it
Yeah.
Yeah.
difficult.
I was
Like
like, you
like
guys need to
now I
stop.
have zero interest on really getting
Well,
over
'cause
the top anymore because I
Yeah.
know that I need to be there to help Becca and the kid whenever, and the last thing I want to do is hear a crying baby for however
that's what I
long
was
we're
gonna
with
say.
that babe.
You're probably terrified
So
of being hungover.
terrified, terrified. And for work, I entertain quite a bit. So it also is always in the
Oh.
back of my head where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just drink some sodas here, some soda and limes.
Yeah.
It'll make it look like, but
Yeah, you do have a lot of work like out of office, like taking them to events like hockey games, basketball
yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be
and
hard.
Jordan,
Yeah.
with you doing what you're doing is obviously no drinking. I have tried, and it's very difficult with doing that, the entertainment portion of work.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say I don't have the social life you do.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I have told myself that I'm going to do two months at the new year here. That's my New Year's resolution,
Dry
Oh,
January.
and
Yeah.
February. Well, minus
wow.
one cheat day because it's Becca's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's got to get
Fair.
it. Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
She
So
gotta throw them back.
well, maybe, who
Yep.
knows? Maybe not, because she's not even really, entertaining. Obviously, because she's breastfeeding, so you got to be a
She
little
can't
smart
really.
there. Yeah.
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 Pump and
And it's
dump.
Pump and
it's
dump.
just not the same. It doesn't hit the same when you have to wake up with a baby.
No, yeah, at
It's
3
just
Yeah.
a.m.
not.
and it's like, oh gosh, are we
Yeah.
rallying or what?
Dude, not worth it. So not worth it.
No.
No.
Once
Yeah.
Colin started sleeping through the night like consistently though, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should get back out there. And and you know what? I did. And I learned my
Yeah.
lesson fast.
For those of you
Don't
listening,
Yeah.
Avery brought back the Four Locos. That is what happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
He brought the
hell
Four
yeah.
Locos back, the watermelon and gold.
Oh my
Can you
god, not the
imagine?
gold one.
No, the gold one. I can't even talk about it.
Red
I'm
Bull.
gonna
Yeah.
Tastes
I've
like Red
never
Bull.
had a Four Loko.
Oh, in
What?
college, ISU, we used to drink them.
Yeah, Stick, you've never had a Four Loko?
No, dude.
Oh,
Not that I like,
good for
not
you.
in my awareness. I might have been blacked out and had one.
Wow.
That was
this
like
is
our
what-
go-to before the bar. We would do 2 of them while playing
Yeah.
Madden
Oh,
or
Jesus.
something.
I never
Well,
even heard of Four Locos until I met Dylan.
They were so cheap. They were like $2.50 a
exactly.
piece.
And you'd go to the
Yeah.
bars and you wouldn't have to buy much because you're already
They were like
just
14%
having fun.
You're
until they took them
wasted.
off the shelves, and then they were 12, I think.
Did you guys
That's
ever drink a
insane.
Black Cobra?
Yes.
Right.
Cobra 40 hands.
Yeah, Edward
Yeah,
40
40
hands.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What? Was I just blacked out all the time? I don't remember any of these drinks.
No, I drank those in high school. Don't
I
tell.
drank those in high school
These,
too.
I'm-
these are the
I'm
ones you
telling Paula.
find at the bottom of the refrigerator section in the gas station that aren't even on the rack. They're just bent over sideways, just
They're
begging
nasty.
to be bought, you know?
Yeah,
Wow.
truly.
Yeah, they're tough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
tough.
never had that, Avery. You little nasty.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
The CNCs was Stick's favorite, huh?
Yeah, well, Peach Bird Dog whiskey and
Yeah.
Twisted Tea was in there.
So
Yeah.
I went through a Twisted Tea phase, and then I went through a Bird Dog phase.
Right.
We like the new Jordan. We like the new Jordan.
We
We're
Yeah.
here for
do.
Team Jordan.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is the first like couple weeks we were like, okay, whatever, you know, doing that little phase or whatever, and then 2
Yeah.
months later, I was like, all right, how can I make or break it? Here we go. Think about a plan. Think about a plan, you know. And then after like 4 months, you're kind of like, oh, dang, that's impressive. You know what? I'm on Team Jordan right now to see how long
Yeah.
she can go, and it's good for you, man. Good for you.
Be
Yeah.
a year in 2 weeks.
No kidding.
So
31st.
That's awesome.
I'm almost a year sober on Celsius. How about it?
Yeah, your little Celsius obsession. You
Oh,
went through a
bad,
phase.
bad.
did you ever
Where's
get like
that?
a gnarly kidney stone?
Yeah, he was snapping me every day with his little Celsius drink in his work truck.
Sometimes 2, depending on the day.
Better
Is
get
that
the heart
like an
check.
energy
Oh
drink?
yeah.
What
Oh
is it?
yeah. You know, I
Yeah,
thought
Oh, I didn't
here
even
was my mindset because I was like, you know what? I looked at ingredients and I thought the less ingredients the better. Not always
Yeah.
the case. They
Well-
have little ingredients. There's only like 6 or 7 at the start of when it first came out, but now they've got a pretty
Yeah.
long list of things. But not to
Hefty.
throw
Yeah,
them under the bus or anything, but
Throw them under the bus.
Yeah, what if they sponsor
Well-
us, Blue?
you can never invite me back. That's fine.
Deal.
We'll just do a high noon one instead. How about it? High noon.
I feel like as many as you
Delicious
consumed.
vodka flavored seltzers.
Well, they can sponsor us too, but I feel like the amount of Celsius you consumed, they should just give you a pardon you.
It was 2018
Oh.
to 2022 or 2023 almost every day.
Yikes.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You didn't get one kidney stone?
Built different, dude.
True.
I didn't even know that was a thing in my honest opinion.
Well, do you guys want to hear what I told Avery in the last episode?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
So this is probably an after dark thing, so I might have to cut it. I was kind of thinking about it when I was telling Avery in the last one. But do any of you guys have Twitter or anything? Are you hot on the socials?
I'm sorry, it's called X, but yes.
X.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay, so
Ron's
maybe
gonna
you've
be
already
coming for
heard
us.
this, and I'm late to the game. But there's a social media, like an Instagram model / OnlyFans famous girl that's 23. She's from the UK, and she's trying to beat the world record of anybody. Can anybody guess?
Oh yeah.
Is it sleeping with 1,000 men in one day?
Yes!
Yeah, I fucking saw that.
What's wrong
It was
with
a
that?
But what are
headline on
your-
my Snapchat.
But what are your thoughts on that?
That's fucking nuts. I did the math. I was like, how many minutes are in
84 seconds. She'd have to have a new
Yes.
man. 84 seconds.
I did the
It's
math.
a long
yeah.
time.
For
Every
24
84
hours
seconds,
straight.
a man has to come.
Oh, good. Oh, Lord help mercy. I can give you a guy's perspective out, so far out. Imagine being that last 999th guy. Or
You gotta be
1,000.
dry. There ain't nothing left in there.
It looks like fucking Diddy's
squeezing
house
it
in
in.
there. They probably
Yeah.
got fucking
Right.
baby oil everywhere.
Gallons of oil.
Sponsor KY, you know.
Yeah. Sponsor us.
The sponsors gonna start flooding in.
Yeah.
That's
But I just thought
crazy.
that was the wildest
So
thing.
what there was another video or another gal that did it. Wasn't it 100 guys in one day?
It was
She
one
so
night.
same
One
girl.
night.
So yeah, so basically what it was is I didn't even know there was a world record for this, but basically if you like in early 2000s a porn star had sex with over 918 men in 24 hours. So she wants to beat that and do 1,000, but she's getting prepared for it. So like building her roster and also building her like stamina, I guess.
Are
So
men signing up for this?
yes,
I mean, I'm
the
not
other
shocked by
the
that.
other day she had sex with 100 guys in one night.
Ruthless. I mean,
And
Like, how?
the only thing I can put my head to is because I got a daughter now. Is what
yeah,
happened? What happened? Where did you go off the rails?
She's gotta be
but
tore up from the floor up.
Drew, do you want to hear the worst part?
Yeah.
Her
Oh yeah.
parents manage her
Shut the
doing
fuck
this.
up.
They manage her finances, they manage her OnlyFans. They're her managers.
I just got the chills.
They gotta be some freaky
What is
ass
going on
parents.
here?
Yeah. And so she's been on talk shows and she obviously has that documentary on YouTube. I haven't watched it. There's I think one episode out now about her having sex with the 100 guys or whatever and I've seen clips of it. It shows the room after absolutely disgusting. The camera crew goes in there and they're like gagging because they're like it smells so bad in here.
Oh my god, no. I'll
And
throw
then
up.
they interview her and they're asking her, they're like, "So, like, how do you feel? Like, was it what you like expected it was gonna be?" And this is the part that like made the hairs like on my arms stand up because you could tell like visually she's like trying to keep it together. And then all of a sudden she's like, I don't recommend this. Like, it's not for the faint of heart. Like, basically, she was saying like it's harder than what she thought it would be. And then she starts breakdown crying and like running into the other room. And then they end like
Like,
the
no
episode.
one's holding a gun to her head making her do this.
Oh
No, but
man.
I feel like it's just blown up so much that she feels like what I felt like in this portion of the vid, like the snippet I saw, like she probably feels like she's in too deep now.
But come
No pun
on.
intended.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Unreal. Unreal. I
Yeah.
cannot. I don't
Totally
know.
fine.
This is just banana. What is she going to get a signing bonus of some sort off of this? I mean, there are a lot of women out there making a ton of money doing this.
So she's made a ton of money on OnlyFans. So they asked her, why don't you just keep doing the OnlyFans? Like, why do you find the need to do this? And she said, because it's her way of giving back to all of her subscribers on OnlyFans.
The fuck do you mean? Donate your money to a charity.
Giving back what?
I don't
Yeah.
know if they're the ones that can sign up and like have sex with her or
Dude, this is just I don't know. And she's from the UK.
yeah, she's from the UK, but the woman that holds the record like right now is from the US.
Ugh.
And she was a prostitute for 21 years, the woman that holds the record now.
Savage.
And she said her only regret in life was doing that, like breaking that record or starting that record.
Can only imagine.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Only imagine.
I can't see it being something they look back on and they're like, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that moment.
And she's wanting to have this like record broke by January of 2025.
That's like next fucking week.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord help mercy. I actually, in my honest opinion, have no idea what to say to that because that is just an ultimate just
Drew, if you were
blow.
a single man, 22
So
years old, and
far
this
gone.
woman reached out to you,
Would you sign up?
Oh,
would you
not
sign up?
even. I wouldn't even look at it. Yeah,
Really?
I no.
Something tells me 22-year-old Blue would explore it.
Wanted to change your name, maybe,
Well.
perhaps.
Wrong. Maybe pass it to a friend, but like, hey, I know this
I
cool
thought
chick.
you haven't
It'd be
lost your
Walden.
virginity yet.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. No, I think the crazy part about the whole thing is that her parents are involved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's whack. They like I said, they got to be some freaky ass people.
So no, but so it's like been brought up. I listened to some other podcasts about it because I thought it was spam when I first saw it. I was like, "There's no way this isn't like scammers trying to get hack into my shit, whatever." And then when I found out it was real, I started looking into it and she's talked about it. Like people have asked her questions about her parents being involved. And basically she chalks it up to her parents are very liberal and they've always been very open with her like sexuality and they had a choice where either they could basically jump on the train or like get off the train, like be in my life or don't be in my life. But I'm like, but do they have to be that far into your life where it's like they're
Yeah.
managing your finances and promoting your shit?
Like, do they watch it?
Oh, yeah. Got to. You know what?
Yeah,
What do
they
you?
do.
What do you? Do you guys? Do you think they're having conversations? Like, hey, my name's Emerson. Like, oh, what's up, Emerson? Big old titties. You know, like
I don't think they even have time. Like if they gotta,
No,
if she
she's on
has
the
to have a
fucking
new
clock.
penis in her every 84 seconds, like there's no time.
Ugh, I can't.
golly. Yeah.
couldn't pay
1,000
me.
guys.
You couldn't pay me all the money in the world.
Stick, think about Oregon, Illinois. That's 3,000 people. That's a third of the people in that town.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That to choose from that, folk. No, thank you.
And you can only choose people from Oregon.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just cop out on that.
Do you guys want to hit me with some ideas to see if I know or a male's perspective on things here?
Like, are you thinking the questions to see if you know what the
You
answers
can
are?
do that. You can fire whatever you want, and I'll give you my honest opinion on all of it.
Okay.
Did you look some up, Mo?
I'm an open book.
Yeah, I have a few. Do you know what a water line is?
No, what?
I don't know what that
A
is.
water line.
I don't know what a water line
I don't
is.
know what that is.
Yes, you do.
A water
Is
line?
this about to
A
get
girl's-
weird?
Oh, I know what it is.
No, what's
I
what's a water line?
Your eye line? Like where you put your-
Yes, it's where girls put their
Oh!
eyeliner. It's your water
I
line.
gotta
Damn
start
it.
over here because my mind is so far in the gutter with all of it. Okay, so
Okay,
these are
okay.
like
I knew that
not
shit.
wild
These
questions off the.
no,
Okay.
no. These are like questions that
I was like,
any
I'm
woman
out.
other than Avery and Stick should know.
No, I figured it out, dude.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
had to look at Mike, and then I
I'm
was like,
sorry. I had a real.
"No."
We were down in the gutters, and I didn't reel us back out before I asked the
Yeah,
question.
no, we were still thinking about having sex with
Yeah,
1,000
we
men.
just
and
came
we
up with a hot
fucking
topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
Oh God.
Do you know what a diva cup is?
no, but it sounds scary.
It's basically like a silicone cup that girls use in place of like tampons.
Yes.
It's just the
Yeah.
flow.
Okay, I'm familiar. I
He knows now.
just
Okay.
didn't know the name. You know,
Do you know what a pap smear
sure
is?
do.
Okay. Oh, duh. Your wife's had a
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Yeah, that
And
one's a
believe it or
given.
not,
Still,
I went
some
to
men don't
school
know.
for biology,
Oh.
which probably doesn't relate in any way, shape, or form. But some of the human body stuff I'm familiar with. But
Okay.
who knows? We'll
I
see.
could see you being a gynecologist, Blue.
So far in there, yep, I'm in.
Gyno.
Well,
Do you know what Spanx are?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
do you wear them?
Does anybody? What are they?
Aren't those tights that go around your waist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Look at that.
That's good.
5 points right here.
Mark it down.
Mark it down. Weird. It's almost like what Stick said is true.
Unbelievable.
Um,
I know the guy.
yeah.
Last time on here.
Do you know? I feel like you're gonna know this one because it's probably obvious, and my husband really knew this one too. But I've seen videos of guys that don't. But do you know the different sizes of tampons?
Small, medium, large, heavy, weak. No, I didn't.
Close.
No, I've only seen like heavy or extra heavy, and I'm like, I don't even understand, so I'm just gonna keep walking.
It's all about the flow, baby.
Don't want to
It's all
know.
about that flow.
No, but if you have a diva cup, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
True.
True.
There you go.
Right?
That's right.
With the cup. Maybe
Mhm.
they'll
Yeah.
sponsor us.
You know,
What?
Maybe
Diva
they'll
cup.
sponsor us.
I don't know. I'm afraid of a diva cup, dude.
Don't know till you try.
That's
Do
true.
you use one, Stick?
Nope,
No?
I don't get a period, so
Oh,
Ugh,
oh boy,
the
we can
light.
dive
Oh,
into
boy.
that if you want.
yeah. Well, that's
kidding.
that. Honestly, those are all that I wrote out. But do you guys have any other
That's
random
funny.
questions that you guys want Drew's perspective on?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of like some weird object that I use.
Ew,
Oh.
we don't want
Not
to know.
like that.
So,
Get out of the
I'll go
gutter.
have Dylan
We're
open the
still in the
nightstand
gutter.
right next to the bed. You know.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a drawer.
Oh,
Oh, you
under the bed.
You just let him.
Wait, Stick, you said that Drew. So, Drew, do you have a skincare routine?
Oh yeah, let's dive into that. Let's dive into Drew's skincare.
I do.
Hear ya.
I'm one of those that dabbles on whatever I think
You literally
works
like
best.
have gotten me to buy products before.
I know I have. And I'm one of those where so I heard on a podcast recently, I don't know if you guys Barbara something, Barbara
Barbara Walters.
yes, I
Walters,
believe.
that's where I was
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, um she
Wow.
I was talking about a lot of like just being your own doctor and whatever works best for you because there's a lot of things out there that does not work for you that other people would want to use. So
Yeah.
there's a couple
Yeah.
things that I did recommend to Jordan that kind of worked for me a little bit. May have worked better with her, but I am on something new actually, and there's two things here. So when you guys get out of the shower, the first thing that most people do is I'm bald, so water's dripping straight down my face. People want to pat their face dry. Don't,
With a towel.
don't,
Don't.
do
Oh,
not do it.
I
I do
don't
not.
either.
Let it,
I
let
I
that's
it
the
use
first
soak.
my
thing I do.
Let it
I
soak.
use my
Moisturize.
clean
I
skin club towels and dab my face.
No,
No, but I hate the
I
feeling
know,
of
I
the
know.
water on
It's
my
tough.
face.
It's tough.
Wait, you're
You
not
gotta
supposed to take it
just
off at all?
no.
No, you're supposed to moisturize, right? Like put lotion on top of it.
I wait until everything's gone.
Obviously not dripping,
Right.
but like, do you want to have some moisture on your
Is that
skin
because
when
your
you're
pores are
applying
Well,
open
lotion?
and
the
you?
pores are open, and that is the most obvious source of hydration, which is the water, right? So that's going to help with healing the skin and whatnot. But I'm on something new, and it's grass fed beef tallow.
On your
Oh, I've seen
face?
that. I've seen that.
Yes. Shockingly,
That
most
doesn't
people.
clog your pores?
No, actually, it's the best hydration.
Is it oil or is it like a
It's
grease?
still fat. It's actually it's a fat
Huh.
from the animal, but all grass fed, organic or whatnot. But it's the most high potented hydration formula for your actual skin,
Does
your
it
pores.
smell?
Not at all. No, there's a brand that my wife uses a lot that's got a little bit of like natural flavors and like lavender flavors to it and whatnot. But
Is it crunchy?
no,
Is it
primarily
like
pure.
coconut oil,
Really
kind
pure.
of?
Yes, yes, yeah. So it's a
Okay.
little scoop of it, and you dab it on and whatnot.
Oh.
Oof.
It
Mm.
feels a little greasy at first. I had to dabble with a few because some of them made me break out bad. I'm like, I'm out. I'm so far out. Nope, I'm gone.
Yeah.
But this one I found to be decent. And I looked into it more, and this is more of what folks did back in the early days, back in the early 1900s when they didn't really have facial stuff. They used it for
Mm-hmm.
sunscreen, they used it for hydration. It helps with scarring,
Wow.
moisturizer,
Catch
anti-aging,
me
all of
bathing
this
in it.
stuff. And people and think about it, and I was so caught up on spending so much money on specific products where I'm like, okay, I'm tired of this because everything's kind of doing the same thing. I'm just one, I'm impatient. But two, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what's
Mm-hmm.
something that's cost effective that I can stick to that's simple? Because I'm tired of doing 6 different things at night before I go to bed. Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't want to put on 8 different serums and then go to bed. I just, as weird as that sounds from a male's perspective, but I dialed it down to one, and it's organic beef tallow, from primarily pure with some good sense to it. But that I have found to be pretty solid.
So do you
I
buy that from a skincare company
Yeah.
or is it like you can just buy it from the store?
So I would prefer skincare company because I tried it from the store that you would use for cooking, and that made it
Yeah.
a little too greasy. So I think
Yeah.
that they can simplify the product a little bit more to help with your skin. Um,
Yeah.
my wife knows more about it. I kind of bug her about things before I buy it because I'm like, hey, let me get your take. She's a nutritionist and she's the biggest health nut I know. So all the information that I want to find out, I go straight to her for. And she's like, yeah, you should try it because it's really, really, really good for scarring. I got a scar out of my chin. Been using it for that. So I'm curious to see what it looks like in the next couple months. But simple, it was like $35 instead of spending a dumb amount of whatever, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the best part about it is it's organic grass fed cow fat. It's weird. It's weird. But
I'll
Yeah.
feel Drew's face after this episode and report back.
do it.
Yeah, report
Do
back.
it.
Can we get close-up images,
You
please?
Yeah.
can. The wife was like, wow, your face is really smooth. I'm like, damn right, I just shaved too. So let's go. So yeah, it's a little it's starting to make its way up. It's starting to get a little popular, but the whole non-dab in your face when you get out of the shower and putting that on,
I'm gonna start doing that for
it,
I'm
real.
gonna try that, but I feel like I'm gonna need that's gonna take me so
You
long to get used
Paul,
to.
you can do it. It's okay.
just go straight to clean the body, drying the body, and then walk out. Like it's
Yeah.
just distract yourself in any way possible.
Yeah, just
The
start doing
first
the
week was
dishes.
tough.
Oh,
My dermatologist told me that when I was dealing with well, I was getting acne when I was pregnant with Collins, but I had super dry skin still. Like, I don't know, my skin was so bizarre. And she's like, stop wiping your face with your towel when you get out of the shower. And I was like, what, crazy? And she's like, yep, just let it dry. Just let it dry. And then once it gets dry enough, moisturize on top of it.
but I feel like bringing this topic up, of Drew saying that, you and your wife both use it and you're seeing that it's working and stuff. It just makes you, question everything that's on the market. Like, is it truly effective or is it just a scam to get people's money?
I think that a lot of stuff, I think that simple is best, probably. Like if you're
Yeah.
using like 8 different products, I don't know that that's the best. Although, like Drew was saying, everybody's skin is different. So what works for me might not work for you and vice
Yeah,
versa. And yeah. So, but I mean, I think buying all the things like the first thing you see on TikTok because you're like, oh, it worked for that girl. That's kind of,
right. And the
crazy.
biggest takeaway that I took too was just be your own doctor. Like everyone's different. Your body's going to function completely different, and just slowly work in. You got to give it time a little bit too,
Mm-hmm.
because on a couple of them, I saw breakouts right away, and I was like, okay, I just don't think that's going to work for me, and because it's got a little more greasier than I expected. But if you find the right one, you just stick to it, see what works,
Mm-hmm.
But
Do you use a retinol?
no, I don't. I used to, and that one was the one I kind of splurged money on the most because I always thought,
Mm.
oh, that's the one that's going to make me look 30 when I'm 60, type of thing, right? But
Yeah.
doing more. So I go down in rabbit holes on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook Reels, and that was one of my rabbit holes I went down on. And a lot of what I saw simply said, look, hydration is the number one key, is the biggest key. If you can find ways to
Yeah.
simply hydrate your skin, it's going to work better than retinol long term, cost effectively as well. So
Yeah.
I figured, just find something that works from a hydration standpoint and just
Mhm.
ride that out and see. I mean, a lot of it can be genetics too, in the amount of sun exposure that you're in. And
Definitely.
living in
Sun exposure.
Texas and I golf a lot,
Mhm.
it's going to be difficult.
You
So
wear ha but you wear a hat,
got
right?
to. But every now and then
But
I'll
that's
play
not your
without a
hat.
hat just to get the
I was
top
gonna
of
say
my
your
head
recent
looking
snaps.
pretty. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Drew's so good at golf.
I'm okay.
So wait, did you say that you have two things in your skincare routine? So you use the beef towel, and what's the
Beef
other thing?
tallow and just simply just let the waters absorb into your
Just let
skin.
the water do
Oh,
it.
that's
Yep,
the two
yep,
things. Okay.
yep.
Wow.
That's simply it.
That's its holy grail.
Yep. I
Wow.
don't know.
I'm gonna try it.
I'm from a male's perspective, right? I don't know. I grew up really self conscious about skin. I was on doxycycline for a while, and I didn't have
Mhm.
really bad acne. I just had a couple flare ups, and I was just very like, I hate that.
Sensitive to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was on that for a while, and I was like, okay. I stopped taking that 4 years ago or whatever, but I figured let's try to clean up diet, because diet and gut health is the number one contributor to anything on the skin.
Skin. Yeah.
And my wife being a nutritionist, is the easiest thing in the world.
You
Um,
might have to cut this out, Blue, but I just thought of
I saw you laugh, and I
I
was
was-
like,
Yeah, I was so
Yeah, she was
confused.
what is
losing her
she
shit
I was
all
like,
trying?
by herself.
are you laughing because I asked him the same question, or why are you
no,
laughing?
I'm laughing because I thought a memory popped in my head of when Blue got hair plugs.
Yeah.
Wait, you
Oh, did
did?
I
you try
did.
it?
I 100% did. Yeah.
Did
Um,
it hurt?
How was that process?
it
I'm curious.
was an experience, to say the least. Um, Growing up, I was like, oh, okay, like hair is really really important from a male's perspective, right? And I was like, okay, I can see myself losing it a little bit here. I gotta quit that. I gotta find a way to stop. So there was a place in Schaumburg I went to, and did the whole 9 yards, and got the implants. Tried it,
Oh.
and then after the surgery, they go, oh yeah, but you have to take these pills. And I was like, okay, well, what do they do? They go, well, they keep your hair that's there existing, um, but you might experience erectile dysfunction.
Oh
And I said, "Oh,
What?
really? Oh, really?"
They didn't tell you
Didn't tell me
that?
that before. No.
Before? Because they wanted your money. Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh, yeah.
god.
And that was, like,
Money.
the number it's Propecia, I think is what it's called. And that's the
Is that the
number
number
1
one side
side effect
effect?
of it, yeah. So I was
That's
like, "You
wild.
know
That
what?
wasn't, like,
I'm
detailed in
so
a
out on
consult.
that." And I live by the motto now of
Oh
if
my
a male
god.
is balding, let it go. Fire it before it quits because I have found my true self and my most confident self that I have ever been because
When
of
you're a bald boy.
letting it
I
go,
can't
firing
I
it.
can't imagine you not
I
bald,
know, I know. Same with
Yeah.
honestly.
my wife. I'm glad she met me without hair because
Yeah.
she would have just
Yeah.
looked by me with
He
hair.
looks like a completely different person with
Yeah.
hair.
I
It's
bet.
not it wasn't good. Um, but I said, "You know what? Let's just fire it before it quit." It was very difficult. It was a tough process for me, in all
That would be
honesty.
hard.
It
Yeah.
was, but I truly live by the motto of if you're balding, it's God's way of saying you're gonna look way better bald. So let it go.
Yeah.
Just do it.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did, and it's been a hell of a ride. I think it was what 2019 I did it. So it's been a while.
That's a
It
lot of
took me
money.
it took me a solid year to really feel confident in my skin and my own self. Whoa, dude, that's from
Is that you, Drew?
Oh my gosh.
Wow, I wouldn't even know.
Me
I'm telling you,
neither.
completely different man.
Were you blonde?
yeah in the summer.
Oh,
That's actually like a picture that shows you with me with good hair. First off,
that's a lot of
that's
hair. I was gonna
another
say.
good picture of hair. You got to find my like link. I
I'm
had
going through the time.
Oh, like when it started to go and like
Yeah,
you
so
maybe
I
should have
like
let it
tried.
go.
It wasn't like bad to the point where it's like, dang, that dude's balding for sure. It was like I
Yeah.
did a decent job of somewhat covering it up, but
Yeah.
it was only on the front portion of it, so I had a little side comb over going on or whatnot, and I was like, all right, look. And one day I went to the Great Clips first issue
Yeah.
to get a nice little chopperooski, and this dude hacked me with a chainsaw.
Oh
So
no.
I was like, okay. I went home and I'm like, yeah, this is the day.
Gotta
This
save
is
it.
the day. Yeah. Um, but um, but it was a ride. Not supportive best friends, which is fun because we got it's love. It's like a love hate thing, where we
Yeah.
send stupid pictures on Snapchat to our group chat and whatnot, and everyone's always like, "Oh, you dumb bald bitch," yada 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 yada. But it's all out of love, right?
Right.
All the
So that
love.
was that was fun trying to handle that and manage that at the same time too.
When
Um,
you were like actually going through something and your friends were like, haha,
Yeah.
Well, to be
you're going
honest, like
bald.
it actually made me feel a little bit better because I knew that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so you can see a little blonde at the front.
So a little bit, yeah.
See, it's just
It
a
just
little
looked like
lighter on
it
the
was
front,
thinning.
and that was like the same year, maybe the year after that, where I was like, okay.
It's time
Um,
to let it go.
It's
but yeah,
time
I
to
didn't want to be that guy that's got the cul-de-sac, walking around in your
Yeah,
30s with
my
the
dad was the
cul-de-sac, right?
cul-de-sac
Yeah, I'm
man.
out. I'm so out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was a change in all lifestyle for attire, even too. Like I went on a whole new shopping spree, and found I had to go
Oh.
on Pinterest to see what do bald guys wear. I had no clue.
No, but that's you know what? That's
It
True,
changes
yeah.
your style
self-care.
completely. Because I, with
Yeah.
hair, was wearing glasses and like these nerdy button ups because I was in IT at the time,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, this is what I see on a day to day basis, and oh gosh, it was a weird time, but we managed to escape and we have seen the best days. So,
As a bald
as a
man?
bald man, yeah.
That's a good thing to talk about though, because I can think of a man right now that I know is kind of going through that, and he's very sensitive to
It,
it.
it's a
It's
very
not
sensitive
it's not
topic,
hard.
and I with depending on the relationship with the individual, I've been wanting to sit down to maybe even talk to them, or if they want to talk to me about it, because obviously I've been through it, but
Yeah.
um, it's a scary process at first, but man, once you get over that hump, like you just feel
Yeah.
free, you know.
Like
Yeah.
he was talking about like trying to do like hymns or
Don't
do like I was like, you know what?
I
I
could
don't think that's
no,
yeah.
it's not.
Just let it
It
go.
doesn't matter what he uses really to
Yeah.
try to keep it because regardless, your existing hair is always gonna fall out unless you pay a
Yeah.
lot of money for specific surgeries and medications. And it's just the hair is just not worth it. Like I said, it's Let it go. You'd be surprised. I never thought I would somewhat pull off the bald look.
Yeah,
And it works. Yeah, get the
it
hand
does
up there.
work.
Somewhat.
So
Oh my God,
Somewhat.
sick.
So
But
Oh my God.
Dylan loves being bald too.
yeah, and
Yeah,
Dylan rocks it.
Dylan.
So
Yeah.
it's one of those things, I mean, my
Yeah.
Uber driver picture is me with glasses. So it's with hair. So they're all like,
Tough.
Andrew?
They're like, this
Andrew, are
isn't
you
right.
sure? I actually have a question for you guys because I've always thought that I'm the weird guy about this, and this is more of
Partially
a
true.
question for your guys' husbands, but maybe you guys can kind of ask them. But throughout pregnancy and Becca being a mother, my level of attractiveness to her has just exponentially increased. One, from attractiveness, but for two, seeing her be a mother, like, is one of the
Yeah.
most attractive things that I have ever seen. Like, of course, though, on the first day I saw her, I was like, yeah, okay, wow, bombshell. So in, right? And then during even third trimester, I'm like, yeah, this is hot. She's hot. She's carrying my kid. Like, this is
Yeah.
great. And
It's
then
like a sense of,
n-
yeah.
now,
I feel like that's a common thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I did not expect any of this. Where I'm just like, you are just literally the hero of this family, the glue of this family, and just the level of attractiveness that I have to her. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And I didn't
It,
know if I was the only one that experienced that because I talked to a coworker too about it, and he's like, man,
yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
Oh,
I'm like,
Jesus
oh
Christ.
Sounds like a
man,
doofus.
dude,
Yeah.
I got a call coming in, gotta go.
I feel like he probably wasn't 100% sure before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if
I
you
can
have very
say
strong feelings before, then they just get stronger
yes. And
during.
Yeah.
yes. And I will say it goes this other way too. Like after we had Collins and well, even when I was pregnant with Collins and how helpful CJ was and like how helpful he was in the newborn stage and like when I was postpartum and all that, like oh my God. Like he is I already thought he was like the cream of the crop, but he really fucking is. Like he is that. Like I think if you have a good, like McCall was saying, like the good relationship beforehand, it intensifies it by
Oh,
like
so
100.
much. So
But I
Yeah.
would say even before, like, cause so obviously, like, I don't have a baby yet, but we've been trying, and
Mhm.
Caleb thinks I'm the hottest thing around now. Like, don't get me wrong, like, and I'm not even pregnant
You're
yet, but
okay. You're like
and
it's like a
I'm like a
7.
I'm like a 10, but but yeah, no, I think it's yeah, all goes back
Well,
to that
and just the
relationship.
idea, like when you're in love with someone, like making something that's half you and half them.
yeah, is that something that I think your husbands may? I mean, I don't know. That it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Um,
We were saying like it goes. I don't know how much of that you missed out on, but
I
it
said
goes
basic, yeah.
like
It's like a relationship. It's hand in hand. If you had a
even when
strong
you're
relationship
yeah
before,
yeah
then I think you just are more attracted to each other during the pregnancy. Like I was saying, like Caleb and I don't have a kid, but we've been trying for some time now, and he even thinks I'm the fucking hottest piece of
yeah,
whatever.
right?
It just changed. Like I mean, he's
Yeah.
always obviously thought I was, but like now I just feel it even more, and sometimes I have to be like, whoa, like
just calm
get off
Yeah,
down.
me,
right. Yeah,
calm down.
Yo,
Keep your
go hang
hands
out
to
with the dudes
yourself.
once, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
No,
think
Yeah.
it's cool. It's a unique experience which you can't really put words to. It's
Mhm.
just something you have to kind of live, and there's something that no one ever talks about either. Like I never expected that. It's just sitting there on the other side of the couch watching her just be a mom
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and just never complaining. Always getting up when she needs to is just incredible.
It's crazy.
I know. Yeah.
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 I'd probably complain sometimes.
Yeah.
Weird, Avery. It's like you were complaining before this podcast.
I know.
I'm 7 months pregnant. I'm tired.
My
You have no
sciatic hurt.
excuse. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Well, thanks for joining Blue and the Clocked Out podcast, one of our
Yeah.
best guests yet.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
so
Thank
much.
you,
You
Drew.
guys are amazing. Keep up the good work. And I have had a ball. You guys are great.
All the love, baby.
This was so fun. Let's do it.
This was fun.
Yeah, we'll have him on again.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
All right.
Yeehaw.
Peace.